Ancient Syria. 1. Prehistoric era. The area that is now Syria has been inhabited since the Paleolithic period, with evidence of human settlement from around 12,000 years ago. 2. Ancient civilizations. Syria was home to several ancient civilizations, including the Sumerians, Akkadians, Hittites, and Phoenicians. 2. Cities like Mari, Ugarit, and Byblos were major centers of trade, culture, and innovation. 3. Assyrian and Babylonian empires. In the first millennium BCE, Syria was ruled by the Assyrians and later by the Babylonians, who established powerful kingdoms in the region. 4. Persian Empire. After the fall of Babylon, Syria came under the control of the Achaemenid Persian Empire, 539 BCE to 331 BCE. Greek and Roman period. 1. Hellenistic period. After Alexander the Great's conquest of Persia, Syria was part of the Seleucid Empire, one of the Hellenistic successor states. 1. The region was heavily influenced by Greek culture. 2. Roman Empire. In 64 BCE, the Romans annexed Syria, making it a province of the Roman Empire. 2. Syria became an important part of the Roman and later Byzantine empires, with cities like Antioch becoming key centers of commerce and culture. Islamic period. 1. Umayyad Caliphate, 661 to 750. In the 7th century, Syria was conquered by the Arab Muslims. 1. The Umayyad Caliphate made Damascus its capital, marking a golden age of culture, art, and trade in the region. 2. Abbasid Caliphate. After the fall of the Umayyads, Syria came under the control of the Abbasids, though its importance diminished somewhat compared to the earlier era. Medieval and Ottoman era. 1. Crusades, 1096 to 1291. From the 11th century onwards, Syria was a major battleground during the Crusades. 1. The Crusaders established several states in the region, including the County of Edessa and the Kingdom of Jerusalem. 1. Syrian cities like Aleppo and Damascus remained important cultural centers during this period. 2. Ottoman Empire, 1516 to 1918. In 1516, Syria became part of the Ottoman Empire and remained under Ottoman rule for over 400 years. 2. During this time, the region was relatively stable but became a backwater compared to earlier periods. 2. Damascus and Aleppo remained important cities, but the empire's declining power led to increased European influence in the 19th century. Modern era. 1. French Mandate, 1920 to 1946. Following World War I, the Ottoman Empire collapsed, and Syria became a French mandate under the League of Nations. 1. Syrian nationalist movements grew in opposition to French rule, leading to the eventual independence of Syria in 1946. 2. Independence and political instability. After gaining independence, Syria went through periods of political instability, with multiple coups, military regimes, and short-lived unions with other Arab states. 2. In 1963, the Ba'ath Party took control, and in 1970, Hafez al-Assad seized power, establishing a long-lasting regime. The Assad era and the Syrian Civil War. 1. Hafez al-Assad, 1970 to 2000. Hafez al-Assad ruled Syria with an iron fist, suppressing dissent and maintaining control through a combination of political repression, patronage networks, and military strength. 1. Under his leadership, Syria was involved in several regional conflicts, including the Yom Kippur War of 1973 and the Lebanese Civil War, 1975 to 1990. 2. Bashar al-Assad, 2000-present. After Hafez al-Assad's death in 2000, his son Bashar al-Assad took power. 2. Initially seen as a reformist, Bashar's rule became increasingly authoritarian. 2. In 2011, the Arab Spring protests led to the Syrian Civil War, which has been devastating for the country. 3. Syrian Civil War, 2011-present. The Syrian Civil War, which began as peaceful protests against the government, escalated into a brutal conflict involving multiple factions, including the Syrian government, rebel groups, Kurdish forces, and extremist groups like ISIS. 3. The war has caused hundreds of thousands of deaths, millions of refugees, and severe destruction across the country. 3. International actors, including the United States, Russia, Iran, and Turkey have been involved in various ways. Current situation: the conflict continues, though government forces, with significant help from Russian and Iranian support, have regained much of the territory previously held by rebel and Kurdish forces. The humanitarian crisis remains severe, with millions of Syrians displaced and large areas of the country left in ruins. Syria remains a focal point of geopolitical tensions, as various regional and global powers continue to influence the course of the conflict. The future of the country is uncertain, with deep divisions and a need for long-term peace and reconstruction. You said. Important history. ChatGPT said. ChatGPT: the history of Syria is marked by several pivotal events that shaped the country and its role in the broader Middle East and world. Below are some of the most important moments in Syrian history. 1. Ancient civilizations. 1. Phoenician civilization, circa 1500 BCE to 300 BCE. The Phoenicians, based in cities like Byblos and Tyre, were among the ancient world's most influential traders and sailors. 1. Their alphabet was one of the precursors to modern writing systems. 2. Arameans and Assyrians. By the 9th century BCE, the region became home to the Arameans, who significantly influenced the culture and language of the area. 2. Syria later became part of the Assyrian Empire, with cities like Aleppo playing crucial roles in the empire's dominance. 2. The rise of Islam and the Umayyad Caliphate, 661 to 750. 1. Islamic conquest, 7th century. Syria was conquered by the Arab Muslim armies in the 7th century. 1. Damascus became the capital of the Umayyad Caliphate, a key political and cultural center. 1. This period is seen as the golden age of Islamic culture, with advancements in science, philosophy, and architecture. 2. Spread of Islam. The Umayyads' rule helped spread Islam across the region, making Syria a center of Islamic civilization and culture. 3. Crusades, 1096 to 1291. 1. Crusader states. During the Crusades, European Christian forces tried to recapture Jerusalem from Muslim control. 1. Several Crusader states were established in Syria, including the County of Edessa and the Kingdom of Jerusalem. 1. Cities like Antioch and Tripoli became focal points for the Crusader efforts. 2. Saladin's Reclamation, 1187. In 1187, the Muslim leader Saladin recaptured Jerusalem from the Crusaders and reinforced Muslim control over Syria, marking the decline of Crusader presence in the region. 4. Ottoman rule, 1516 to 1918. 1. Ottoman Empire. In 1516, Syria was incorporated into the Ottoman Empire, which ruled for over 400 years. 1. This period brought relative stability but also marked the gradual decline of Syria's political power. 2. Decline of the Ottomans. In the 19th century, the Ottoman Empire weakened, and Syria experienced increasing European influence, particularly from France and Britain. 2. This contributed to growing nationalist movements within Syria. 5. French Mandate, 1920 to 1946. 1. Post-World War I. After the fall of the Ottoman Empire, Syria became a French mandate under the League of Nations, leading to tensions between French colonial rulers and Syrian nationalists. 2. Syrian independence, 1946. After years of resistance and uprisings, Syria gained full independence from France in 1946, becoming a sovereign nation. 6. The rise of the Ba'ath Party and the Assad family, 1963-present. 1. Ba'athist Revolution, 1963. The Ba'ath Party took power in Syria in 1963, promoting Arab nationalism and socialism. 1. This political movement eventually led to the Assad family assuming control. 2. Hafez al-Assad, 1970 to 2000. In 1970, Hafez al-Assad took control of Syria in a coup and established a strong authoritarian regime. 2. He maintained power through political repression, the military, and support from key minority groups, particularly the Alawite sect. 3. Bashar al-Assad, 2000-present. After Hafez's death in 2000, his son Bashar al-Assad became president. 3. Initially, Bashar was seen as a reformer, but over time, his regime became increasingly repressive and authoritarian. 7. The Syrian Civil War, 2011-present. 1. Arab Spring and Civil War. In 2011, protests against the Assad regime, part of the wider Arab Spring uprisings, erupted in Syria. 1. These protests escalated into a brutal civil war involving the Syrian government, rebel groups, Kurdish forces, and extremist factions like ISIS. 2. International involvement. The civil war has drawn in international actors, including Russia and Iran supporting Assad's government, and the United States, Turkey, and others supporting various opposition groups. 2. The war has caused immense destruction and a massive humanitarian crisis. 3. Ongoing crisis. As of now, while Assad's regime has regained control over much of the country with the help of Russian and Iranian support, Syria remains divided, and the civil war is far from over. 3. Millions of Syrians have been displaced, and the country is in ruins. 8. Geopolitical significance. 1. Regional power struggles. Syria has long been a pawn in the broader geopolitical struggle between regional powers like Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Iran, as well as global superpowers like the United States and Russia. 1. The ongoing conflict in Syria continues to have significant implications for the Middle East, particularly in terms of security, refugee flows, and regional alliances. In summary, Syria's history is a story of cultural richness, religious significance, and political struggles. Its pivotal role in the rise of Islamic civilization, its importance during the Crusades, and its long-standing place as a battleground of geopolitical interests make it one of the most historically important regions in the world. Today, the country continues to face profound challenges as it seeks peace and stability amidst a complex and prolonged civil conflict.